Good morning to one and all present here. Today I will be presenting on the topic the Purified Understanding by Sri Aurobindo. So to begin with, Sri Aurobindo is a philosopher, a yogi, a revolutionary thinker, and an author and poet. First, he's, his journey started with the fight for the independence, but then later on in his life, he started to move forward towards spiritual journey and more of a critical thinking and deeper spiritual work. To understand what is understanding, purified understanding means buddhi shuddhi. Uh, it means cleansing of the mind. So basically, our minds in day to day life is influenced by ego and desire, which clouds the ordinary intellect, distorts perception towards self interest. So, after Buddhi Shuddhi, like we can achieve this quiet intellect, impartial reasoning, and higher intuition. Like for intellect, it means resting of the mind and making the mind still so that we could understand more higher spiritual growth. And for impartial reasoning is there is no biasness in any kind of thinking and thoughts. There will be a balance kind of the way we think. Higher institution means like intuition means it's beyond logic, direct in a knowing that Aurobindo has a supramental capacity. Like, more more than logic, where he can talk about more spiritual and metaphysical things that is known as higher intuition in Buddhi Shuddhi. So Aurobindo is a revolutionary thinker of his era because of his evolutionary concept of spiritual growth. So, in his spiritual growth, he talked about the evolution of the mind. So, the first, it starts with the mind, ordinary mind, which is clouded by ego, habits, and desires. Then, from then on, with the practice of integral yoga, the mind gets converted to purified intellect, and then to a higher mind, then to an illuminated mind, then intuitive mind, and then super mind. So this is one of the processes of uh, Aurobindo's spiritual growth of the mind, and it is also we can say the hierarchy of consciousness. So it basically starts from a point to where it evolves to a supramental mind. And in purified concepts, Aurobindo uh, has a very big influence. He took one of a very big influence from Bhagavad Gita. Like there are some key concepts from where he says that Gita is not only about war, but it is a map of consciousness. When Arjun talked to Krishna about the warfare, he didn't only mean about talking for warfare, but he was talking to Arjuna for a kind of creating a consciousness in Arjuna's mind. So there are like four concepts he borrowed for Buddhi Shuddhi, that is Shishta, Prajna, Nishkama Karma, Viveka, and Yoga of Knowledge. So to start with Shishta Prajna, it's it means unshakable wisdom. Like your mind is steady, and the knowledge and the wisdom you will have is steady. Moving to the next part, Nishkama Karma, it is desired less action. An action which is done without any desire to get any fruit. Then Viveka is a primary tool of purifying intellect. Uh, with Viveka, we can see what is real and unreal. The dualistic things of the nature we can look into through Viveka. Then Yoga of Knowledge or Yana Yoga is a direct route to Buddhi Shuddhi through self inquiry. Through self inquiry, it means practicing, we can say, practicing Aurobindo's, if when he relates this Gita concept with his own philosophy, he means the integral yoga, the practicing of yoga, silencing of the mind, knowing our own self. So there are methods of purification. The method of purifications are divided into six parts. I have divided it into six parts. To witness consciousness, ethical discipline, surrender of opinion, concentration and silence, receptivity to intuition, integration with the will. So these are like very basic concepts to human beings. And what do we know about witnessing consciousness? It is to develop a capacity to observe one's own mental movement without identification. Ethical discipline, like doing the act of nishkama karma, it is one of the ethical disciplines he considers. Surrender of opinion, uh, it means like being biased, throwing out to be biased, not to be biased in the world, to throw out your opinions and replace with openness to higher light. And then concentration and silence, it is achieved through meditation because our minds are very noisy. So he tries to say that the silencing of the mind and the concentration is how our purification will also work. Purification of mind will work. And receptivity of intuition. A purified mind does not force conclusion, it waits. Intuitive knowledge arrives as gift, not as knowledge. So to practice Buddhi Shuddhi, it's not about what do we get in the end, but it's about that weight of the getting into the end. So it calms the mind, it slows down the mind, and it makes our mind a bit desireless. Integration with the will. Finally, purified understanding is brought back into action through feelings and will act of a unified luminous center. Mm, it means the will, the will of the mind should be unified, and the understanding uh, to integrate our wills. It means to integrate our own will with our mind, because the purification will work with the process of the mind and our will getting up together to going to a higher level of consciousness. So it has three major significance. Uh, Epistemological, it also challenges some of the rationalist assumption that reason is the highest cognitive faculty, posits an evolutionary epistemological cognition itself can evolve beyond logic. So what Aurobindo tries to counter argue is to think beyond logic, a spiritual growth, the evolution of the spiritual growth he talks about. So he leaves the logic behind, and there are ethical and comparative things. Uh, Buddhi Shuddhi is inseparable from ethical life, is what he says. It is a must in one's life. and comparative. Uh, he parallels with Plato's Gnosis, Kant's practical reasoning, and Buddhist Vipassana, and he puts Indian philosophy.
Vipassana means it's one kind of meditation. Meditation technique.
And he puts Indian philosophy in a greater level, in a he puts higher level of the global part of philosophy. So, according to Sri Aurobindo, there is a quote from the Life Divine: "The goal of the evolution is not merely a better brain, but a luminous consciousness that sees and acts from truth." So basically, he with this sentence he tries to say that when our minds will be purified, it is not for making our mind better, but to make the mind conscious enough to see what is real, what is true. So that is it.
Essence itself it should be a factor.
So these are my references. Thank you.
So what is your understanding